Will admitted to me that he had sex with Bryshere Gray, but it was consensual, right?
He said, you know Will raped me. Diddy made me suck his penis. You know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck. Well, I'm going to give you a chapter from the book since I owed you something.
Okay.
In the book, in one of the chapters, they talk about mentorship. So I grabbed my husband. I said, listen, I don't know. I didn't know what happened. Nothing. I was just asked to come.
Is this true?
Yeah. No. I'm gonna let you. You about to see if it's true from the paperwork. Oh, we telling something that got paperwork involved.
You know, he's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of love, and all he has to do is add discipline, and he gonna be all right.
Bisexual. They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Bryshere Gray left that house fucking screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
It's no secret in Hollywood that Jada hates me because I have a strong relationship with Will, and I do my own thing.
Why don't she hate Dwayne?
I can't answer that question.
Why don't she hate Dwayne Martin?
Well, she's gonna love anybody that treats her like she's a god, right? When you're a narcissist and a sociopath like she is, and I'll get into that.
From being on the path to making thousands of dollars every day to zeroing out on everything by going to jail twice, Bryshere Gray has experienced it all. American actor and rapper Bryshere Gray is better known by his stage name Yaz the Greatest, yet he has expanded his status far beyond that. In 2026, Gray is now widely recognized as one of Will Smith's many unfortunate romantic targets, but does Will feel the guilt for any of that?
Artists in the world have done some of the best work of their career.
Yeah.
And the idea that they might be denied because of me.
According to Gray himself, his career was going wonderfully until he met Will Smith, at which point it took a turn for the worse. It isn't too shocking when you consider Will Smith's history of relationships with both men and women. So, when rumors finally began to circulate that the two of them might have fallen in love with each other, Bryshere's career took turns in all the wrong ways. Of course, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith have a highly open relationship in which both of them are comfortable discussing their emotions with members of the other gender. So it doesn't really come off as a surprise if Bryshere was also one of the many men Will was romantically involved with.
He's with my man Charlie Mack, so Charlie was me every step of the way. First out the limo, so Charlie has been with me, 30 years coming up in the business, so.
You may also not be aware of this, but Jaguar Wright has discussed this topic on podcasts and YouTube extensively. She has frequently dissed Will and Jada Pinkett Smith for allegedly ruining young artists by initially taking them under their wing for a supposed mentorship program and later on exploiting them in other ways.
They're both bisexual. They do weird things in their house.
When I'm in Chicago, this guy's acting erratic. Crazy. He's getting stopped by the cops. There's male prostitutes involved. There's mental illness involved. There's drug use involved. And I'm really trying to see what happened to this guy. And one day he said, you know what happened. You know that Will R-worded me, or however y'all kind of say it on YouTube. You know that Diddy assaulted me. And you know Charlie Mack made me suck his private part. Right? And I'm like, whoa, this was a full admittance. And he's going, and I'm like, I didn't know anything. He's in the corner, balled up, snot, so much sweating and pain that blood is coming from his nose. Him in a conversation. And he was like, please don't tell him. Please don't tell him. Right? Will admitted to me that he had sex with Bryshere Gray, but it was consensual. Right? So I'm like, okay, so now it's starting to make sense, because I would have never believed that the way this guy's acting, something had to happen. So now Will told me, and this is going to be in paperwork and everything, right?
Anyway, Gray's career took a huge plunge after he was involved in this bizarre affair with Will Smith, which led to him finally falling into depression and being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Honestly, you only need to look at what happened with the recent Diddy investigations to see that Hollywood isn't always sympathetic to relationships that don't fit the typical template. It should not come as a shock that after whatever transpired with Will Smith, Gray lost his charisma and things began to go from bad to worse for him in the entertainment industry. Unfortunately, his career took a significant hit when things did not go according to plan, and the effect it had on his attitude made things much worse. It caused him to spiral into burning all the bridges of survival for himself.
Good advice. I got my first acting empire, and it's changing my life.
Despite the chaos, rumors suggested he was earning nearly $20,000 for every episode, a figure that only intensified the intrigue surrounding his persona at the time. Back then, Bryshere seemed to be living out his wildest dreams, but that golden era vanished almost as quickly as it arrived. A wave of controversies began to break, moving beyond just his ties to Will Smith. His professional life started to crumble as his personal choices took the spotlight, leading to a downward spiral from which he never truly recovered. Born on November 28, 1993, in Germantown and raised in West Philadelphia, Gray's connection to music was evident from his very first time on stage. However, the path to stardom wasn't easy. He famously balanced his early musical ambitions with a part-time job at Pizza Hut. He once shared with Vibe magazine that he funneled his hard-earned wages into producing his debut music video, showcasing a level of grit that defined his early years. He was relentless, running 24-hour promotion cycles on Facebook until a job loss gave him the full-time freedom to chase music exclusively. His life changed forever when Charlie Mack, an associate of Will Smith, facilitated an introduction between the two. While much has been speculated about their private dynamic, that connection led Gray to a career-defining audition for the series Empire. His talent won over the producers, leading to a move to Los Angeles where he bonded with industry giants like Taraji P. Henson and Terrence Howard. At the peak of his fame, he was a voice of hope, telling high school students about his past struggles with homelessness to encourage their own dreams. Ironically, those were the same values he would later fail to uphold in his own life. The success didn't stop the internal friction. Even as a superstar, he found himself embroiled in physical altercations. Despite moving to California for a fresh start and telling the New York Times about his efforts to stay focused, his life remained fractured. In June 2019, Chicago authorities pulled him over in a luxury car that had the wrong plates and no insurance, a sign of the disorder to come. 5 months later, a bizarre incident in an Orlando shop involving public misconduct led to another arrest. By the time Empire aired its series finale, his life was in free fall. Landlords complained about property damage, and by July 2020, a domestic dispute with a woman named Candace over suspicious phone messages led to a standoff with a SWAT team before his eventual surrender.
I need your ID, because she's alleging that you're the one. This is the reason why we came over here. After I give you my ID. We're going to identify who you are, and then we'll go from there.
In the aftermath of his arrest, Gray attempted to defend his reputation, claiming he had far too much to lose to let his career slip away. During police questioning regarding his marital status, he described his relationship with Candace as fluid, suggesting they were committed yet allowed to see other people. He claimed his intense work schedule made him indifferent to her having other partners, yet it was later discovered the couple had officially married 9 months prior. During the investigation, Candace disclosed that Gray was battling ADHD and bipolar disorder but had been non-compliant with his medication. This mental health struggle, combined with his legal issues, led to a 2021 guilty plea, resulting in 10 days in jail and 3 years of probation. The court issued a stern ultimatum: stay out of trouble or face a long-term prison sentence. The peace was short-lived. By October 2022, a disturbance at his home brought the police back into his life, and just a month later, a woman in Arizona raised concerns for her safety while dating him. These repeated violations prompted his probation officer to intervene, and a judge subsequently ordered him back into custody. As of 2026, the full details of his current legal standing remain partially obscured, but the trajectory is undeniable. Many trace this tragic collapse back to the moment his life intersected with Will Smith's, though his own battles with substance abuse and domestic violence ultimately sealed his fate. Currently, Bryshere Gray remains behind bars, with no signs of a professional comeback on the horizon.